Let's get into it. So,
Sweet.
um, the Afghanistan from your perspective.
Yeah, so right, I mean, going back to the kind of start, like, where were you at, when it happened type of situation. So we were, to preface this, I did watch Hernandez episode, so I can kind of like recheck it.
You're
I'm like,
good.
yeah, that happened, that happened. So we were doing that Op 4 training that was quite a ways away from the company area. Hmm. And I don't can't remember the duration of that.
Yeah, I couldn't
How long
either.
we were out there for it. But I remember it was a day and a sleep and another day, and then so we woke up, did our training, then one day I think we called Index, and we were getting back to like refitting, pulling everybody back in the trucks and bringing them home. I was TCing an LMTV with one other dude. I think he was in fourth, and um, we were driving back about halfway, and we get the you know activation phone call, and it was kind of the iffy, like, this is, it's a test. They say it's not a test, but it usually ends up like that way.
Yeah.
Um, so driving back, get that phone call, and then we hear people in the back of the LMTV screaming and like shouting and cheering. I'm like, something funny must have happened for them to be able to hear through the cab and through the back driving on the road of the LMTV. So, all right, whatever. Check my phone, activation text, activation phone call. I'm like, so what could it possibly be, right? Because nothing serious going on. Um, and that kind of kicked it off from there. Got back to the cough, and they kind of briefed us like, hey, stay off your phones, OPSEC. We'll figure
Mm,
out what's going on.
yeah. And
And
we'll cut to going because I don't want to give away like what we do for spinning up other than the phone
yeah,
call just because so many people are still on the
yeah.
list. Um
Get to the company and get to business, right?
yeah.
But
Yeah, so we'll pick up where we're in air
okay.
going towards Qatar or wherever you were going.
Mm,
'Cause some people did go to Germany and were stuck there. I forgot about that until I was talking to
yeah,
Hernandez.
yeah. So we had wheels up. Well, let's back it up. We had to. You can leave it in if you want. I think you talked about it, but the convoy for outloading, that was a headache. Should have been a couple hours, turned into 10, 11, 12 hour convoy, and like people just falling out of the formation. You get one because you get the group chat of what remaining phone battery life you had. This truck fell out. Boom, boom, boom. This truck's having problems. Like,
Yep.
so it was right off the bat. Get in the air, and then it was a couple hours to we had to refuel or refit in Qatar or Qatar, and from there, you don't really have access to news. You just hear by word of mouth of what's going on, situation on the ground, and refit, refuel, get back on the bird, and then I don't even think we didn't stay overnight. If you were on the same
Mm-mm.
chalk, we just kind of hung out in the
Yeah.
MWR region.
I think it was like
Um,
20, 30 minutes max, and then we were back up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, kept the birds running, and from there, I think that was the first time I saw a TV of what was happening, and your head just I don't you know what to think about it. Rumor mill, um, PNN, even though they don't. they don't know anything more than you do, right?
Yeah.
So after that, we get en route, get all our stuff ready, and you just expecting to hit the ground running, right? Um, kind of like I remember vividly my platoon sergeant was passing around I think it was like Chips Ahoy or something. And he's like, hey, like get it while you can.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the appetite. I'm like, I'm good, man. Like I'll go without it. Um, I wasn't in the mood to smash some cookies at that time. Um, so I mean, you land and then the typical because you've been deployed before, so you
Yeah.
land, you can smell it, you can feel the tarmac. You're like, all right, we're here on the ground. Um, Ramp drops, and we go ahead, get out. Kind of same situation that was brief with Hernandez. You get out, you see people downgrading helicopters, equipment, and then you start seeing like an in-processing area. Um, Kind of, hey, welcome to H Kyle, welcome to Kabul. Um, get in touch with the Marines on the ground, and they were already kind of in the heat for a little bit. I think they had been there as
Yeah.
well as 10th Mountain. I think 10th Mountain was already there.
Yeah.
Um, I think they had an embassy detail, if I remember correctly. But we get there, and it's kind of just, you know, they were in their frantic state, like coming up to you saying all these things, like, we just got off patrol, blah, blah, blah. We have been shot at. And it's like, oh, okay, this is the situation we're walking into.
Yeah.
Not really what I expected. But from there, we had kind of got a got a glimpse of the situation and went off to the start of the tarmac. Um, we didn't know what else to do, so we pulled security, laid down next to a group element, and they just kind of gave us a rundown of like, hey, here's what's going on. It's a shit sandwich, but just welcome and follow by suit.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see like collectively if those guys at their level are scrambled, they don't know what's going on. It's like shit. What do we do? Right? They've been on the ground. They can brief us, and they don't. You know,
Yeah.
situation can flip like that. So it was cool to talk to them and see what's going on. But after that, we had I think it was a couple like an hour or two um, go en route to find vehicles, get mounted, um, as directed by the CO. Like, hey, we're a Delta company. We need trucks, and that's that's our best mission set is trucks. So try to get mounted, get what we can, and that ended up turning into hang out in a hangar for a little bit, talk to the people on the ground and see what's happening, if we can get mounted, commandeering some trucks. And from there, it was kind of just, you know, get a feel of the situation on the ground and wait for our next directive. From that point up until we kind of started getting stuff in motion, I just I don't think anything dramatic was happening that we could see. But
Yeah.
um, I want to say we so between the time of getting mounted and going to our the choose
Hmm.
or the area around it,
Yeah.
it was kind of just like driving around, seeing what's going on. Um, people were there was a company already there from our battalion that was getting accountability of the mound of hundreds of rifles and pistols and everything, checking serials, so they can bring it somewhere else and give it to hire. Like, hey, these mark them down because they're gonna get destroyed, or we need to know what's left behind type deal. So um, from there, it's kind of just a blur to the next major memory of mine, which was, I mean, if you want to go into it, or if you want to talk
Up
more on
to you,
that.
man. Up to you, because the timeline that you're talking about, it's like replaying in my head, so that's why I'm just sitting here.
Hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think. So when we got off, we kicked y'all out, and then we went over to the contractors and started trying to establish the foothold, getting vehicles and all of that. Um, yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot of movement and a little bit of time.
Right.
Um, you brought up they were taking contact. Yeah, I forgot that they had to do a BD6 on like that small building that was off to the far side of the tarmac. Um,
Yeah,
oh
it was
man.
far enough out to where it wasn't by the like wherever the main
Yeah.
processing center was at, like welcome to Kabul.
Yeah.
It was far enough out to where we didn't
Kind of
know
looked
who
like a
was
maintenance.
there.
Yeah, it kind
Yeah,
of looked like maintenance hangar. Um,
who was there, what was there, you know. Um,
yeah, there
but yeah,
wasn't really, it was really just like us establishing that foothold for everybody else to come in, and we were setting up the mechanism for the assembly line to happen.
right,
So I
right,
like it. That was nice. So you guys were on the far side. Were you on the far side the entire time?
for a little bit.
All
And
right.
I want to say somebody had given us a um, what's that up armored like a bear or something.
Oh, the Bearcats? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, they
It's
came
like a
ripping out of that.
F-550.
We, I think we jumped in the back of that and whipped around for a little bit to find extra Humvees. But from there, that kind of I think they were doing back and forth trips. Like,
Yeah.
hey, they're gonna pick us up. They're gonna go bring them there and pick more guys up, bring them back there.
Yeah, I did
So
a
that
couple of
maybe
those.
lasted an hour or two. But that was sick. I'm like, oh, so that's what we have. Like, pretty cool gig. But no, lo and behold, we showed up to some standard up armoreds that we were used to. Last
Yeah.
shout out, just broken things on it. I'm like,
That's
what?
the CIA VIX where it was like all black with a bog snorkel.
Mhm.
That was pretty gangster.
Yeah, yeah, get in where you can fit in, right?
Yeah, dude. Hey, I do it all the time.
Hmm.
Finding those old, what were they, Highlanders, or were they were Hiluxes. That's what they were.
Yeah,
The
Hilux,
six.
um,
Hey.
Highlanders, and then you had yeah, that's pretty much it. I think like a Lexus or something,
Yeah,
but
but we
like
weren't important
yeah,
enough to have those. The
yeah,
Lexuses were for command
yeah,
and detail. Whoever was on
hmm,
that.
right,
Well,
yeah.
actually, what is it? Who was it? It was Donnie. Dude, do you see he got promoted too? Congrats to him.
No, no, I didn't see
Dude,
that.
Big Donnie's up. He made it. If I remember correctly, uh, I call him Big Donnie just because I didn't really
Hmm.
use his full name. But I'll pull it up right now because if I remember correctly, he was a colonel um when we were in Afghanistan. So LTC Donahue.
He was he,
If I'm remembering correctly, because
or was he one star at the time?
he might have been a 1 star. Let's try 1 star Donahue. Because I'm not getting anything right now. But I know it's the same guy because I looked at him. Do you remember his first name?
Chris
Look at you, dude.
announced that. I think he would. I think he jumped over to the 18th Airborne Corps after
Uh,
that.
let's see. Here we go. I got him. Chris Donahue. Good job. Chris Todd Donahue. Damn, dude. That I
Donnie,
forget that you're really good at remembering these names of command. Was it
unfortunately,
Mason's like insanely good at remembering birthdays.
really, yeah,
Dude,
that's not me.
it's like a uh an ability of his. All right, here we go. Yeah, it was Donahue because he was the last one that was on the 17. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I got that
Donahue
newspaper.
on the C-17. Yeah. Dude, I was talking to guys who were on that final plane and they're like, "We were ready to go."
Yeah,
But he was waiting for the final hour.
no, no, photo op, photo op.
It's
Yeah,
it's funny. It's
I,
funny, but only now. Yeah, he
yeah,
did. I think he got promoted. I'm trying to see because after, yeah, Donahue was nominated for to general and the assignment of command to uh Europe, Africa. Nice.
okay,
Good
cool.
job. Good for him.
We
Um, yeah, they were coming through our gate. One time we were like barely ever on the gate, so it's like I think just a handful of times.
that little
From
that little up and down arm swinging gate.
No, not that one. The South Gate, the up armored one that had
Oh,
the
okay,
dual
double
doors.
door. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you had to have a eye in the sky for when you wanted to go over. So they tossed me up in there, and
we
that's the perks of being the designated squad marksman, baby.
yeah.
That and you get to shoot a lot of cool guns. Um, yeah, they were coming through, and I remember because I was mad that they were wearing JPCs. They
Hmm.
they had on jump plate carriers, but we had
Yep.
been told that we weren't allowed to. So I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Get your get your shitty Gen 3
Yeah, dude.
IOTV
Well,
out of RFI.
these are the type of things that you don't forget because like you're already upset, and then command comes out, and I'm not gonna say, well, shit, little Google search will give you who it is. I'll look back at it and edit and see if it fits.
Hmm.
Um, the Sergeant Major comes out and he starts talking about saying no to drugs and don't do cocaine when you get back. And I'm like, Sergeant Major, we are evacuating people. The
Hmm.
last thing on our mind is cocaine.
Right.
Dude,
Priorities, right?
I was, what are you dealing with?
Right. Yeah,
Because, go ahead. Sorry, it's stupid.
I was, this is blasting like a couple days ahead, but we were doing back and forth perimeter checks,
Hmm.
and it was between the civilian embassy ish compound and then the FOB region
Okay.
or the military guys. But we were going back through that little town area, yeah. And I had saw him and his PAO or like his assistant. I'm like, I recognize that guy. I recognize his gait, what he looks like, and then
Hmm.
he's got another person with him. And I saw his ass with what it looked like a pillow and all his bags and stuff walking through the an alley to get towards I'm assuming his room.
Yeah.
And I was like, man,
I wonder
that's
what's in the bag.
you know not cocaine, right?
Hey, it's not cocaine.
But I saw that and I'm like, well, like damn, I wish I'm here crammed in the hot Humvee or a hot truck or whatever he had, and he's just waltzing around with his bags and pillow. Where am I gonna sleep tonight? So
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
shit, dude. It could have been that you just caught him at a bad moment and homie just got evicted like we all did.
Hmm.
Cause,
True,
um,
true, true. I remember that.
yeah, dude. Cause remember the JTACs came in and they were like, "Hey, we need a place to sleep. We just got kicked by command."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I love you, so come here."
Hmm.
One of my buddies, he told me if you ever see JTACs and you're overseas, you immediately show them love because they're gonna show you love. I was like,
Yeah.
deal.
Every time I've come in contact with them as like either civilian or working with the military on a rare basis, they are like that or TACPs.
Hmm.
They're they're always just like those cool guys to talk with and just neutral. They're never like
Yeah.
macho. My shit doesn't stink. It's always like these guys, like they're actually chill.
They're
They're cool.
down. They're grounded, man. They've got a
Yeah,
good sense about them. I like it. I really
yeah.
do because I have one dude. If he watches this, Greenberg, um, just calm, cool, and collected. Every time I've talked to him, that's how
Hmm.
he is. We were doing some work together for software engineering. Dude just was great. Like even when I messed up a couple times or when he would mess up, he would just literally just walk us both through it, do it together. And I was like,
Hmm.
"Damn, dude." Like, and I know that that's few and far between. Most people won't do that. That's why I was giving him a shout out for a second because he extended that hand. I was like, "Damn, that was really
Look.
nice." Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but all right. So, we diverted a little bit.
Hmm. Jump back.
We gotta jump back. Yeah, because I wanna it sounds like um if I'm remembering correctly, you were in fourth,
Second.
second. Oh, oh
Hmm.
God. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, so you were on all of the missions that yeah. All right. Uh I'm so sorry. Continue.
You're good. Yeah. So we had kind of picking back up from when we got into the actual FOB region where solely our battalion was at. Um, mass piling of uh, weapons and reading off serial numbers. They were busy. One platoon or company was done had that task. We had come and just kind of were bystanders, like, oh, let's see what this is going on. And then we eventually got roped into that detail as well. And it kind of turned into like we weren't fully dedicated to it, so we were just bebopping and checking out all the cool guns we've never seen,
Yeah.
and then trying to procure those for our own weapons. Um, and it turned into just like, you know, do the task, get involved, but you could just leave when you wanted to
Yeah.
because it wasn't a direct leadership. And from there, we kind of were focusing on getting more trucks per um, for guys in our platoon because we were cramming 5, 6 guys to a Humvee and with all their gear and stuff. So it was unsat, right? So we had ended up getting all of our trucks, um, our seats filled in our trucks for second platoon. Once we got that done, a dude from I think it was Bico had this is the upcoming zombie horde that you had talked about, like the mass
Yeah.
D-Day or D-Day, World War Z
Yeah, that night.
fucking scenario. He had he was sprinting down the road, like screaming and look like if you know the guy, you could kind of understand him barely as he talks like this because he's foreign.
Yeah.
And he was coming down the road screaming about something, some shit's going on. I'm like, I don't know, it's whatever the deal is, something's hurt or somebody's hurt, maybe something's going on. And then he was coming from the airfield, like telling us all of our trucks need to get out there and beat feet because we needed to support. The guys that had been walking and stuff, they were kind of no use because you couldn't run that far that fast. So they
That
knew us as
order.
yeah, us as deco, perfect for that situation, right?
Hmm.
From there, we went out a kind of a side road through the hangars, and then we were on the far right. So if you're looking at Kaya on a map, it was, I want to say it's like, depending on how you're looking at it, but if you're facing true north, it's way left, top left on the map, the top of the airfield, kind of northish.
North
But
of
if we're
Abbey?
no opposite,
Okay.
so
Okay, I
way
know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
super north of it.
It'd be over by where the Turks had their setup.
Yeah. So we get there, past a couple roads, houses and stuff, or buildings, and we take this left, swinging and looking kind of south towards Abbey Gate, and hit the airfield, which is a weird experience, being in an up armor on a air like a civilian airstrip. Like, damn, this is total movie shit.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I just see. At first, I thought it was grass or terrain. This big herd, the movement of people and masses, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And you just couldn't believe it because nothing you ever seen before.
Yeah.
So get to that point to where we could try to do something. We just used our trucks kind of as like a defensive line and go to veer in and out and see what's going on. But that's what he was talking about, screaming. I'm like, all right, now I know. And he had kind of said something like, blah, 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 they're rushing, blah, 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 you know, they're breaking through. I'm like, well, this just got real shitty really fast. So from there, it kind of just, I have to refresh on what actually happened after that, but it was mainly just dealing with pushing them back and trying to tell them go the proper route. Like, this is not the place to be right now.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm pretty sure there were still birds landing to offload other guys. And this was kind of early in the day too. So, um, being one of the first birds there, I think that this was the 12th, the 13th, kind of day one for us of when we
Yeah.
got there. I mean, this was
Yeah, that
being
was the first.
landing
Go ahead.
landing with our main leadership element, like first sergeant, CO, all the other platoon sergeants. Like, we had this was before any sleeping areas were allotted. Like you said, brand new to the area. Like, hey, get mounted, get our mission set. So we had nothing to stage out of. It was kind of just grab our shit. Our bags will stay by the processing area, and like you're living and working out of trucks for the next however long we have until we can delegate housing and
Yeah. Yeah,
any
we
of that
we put
stuff.
we put a bunch of privates on the detail to move the bags. I remember that because
Hmm.
they're like, what do you want to do
Yep.
with these five? And I was like, make them go get bags.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
it sucks to suck, but they had for the next like the whole duration of the day they were on that bag detail and missed a lot of pivotal shit that happened. But yeah, I we had a couple tasks for that, and throughout the day, I'm like thinking where they were at, and I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, they're on bag detail, they're on bag detail, so should be safe, right?
Yeah. You're
But
trying to do ups and trying to remember where everybody's at. Yeah.
yeah,
What's sit rep? Oh fuck.
hmm. And then you
The-
cover your base like, oh, he's on.
yeah.
Last time I
It
saw him, he was
that
on a
was
detail.
uh trying to get timeline correct in my head. That was the daylight push that they had through where it went into the night, and then we were fighting through the night to get them back. And then, because I think the break in airplanes was like 8 to 12 hours. And then
Right,
finally
right.
they're like, we cannot. wait any longer. We have to fucking move them.
Hmm.
Well, okay. So we just
Yeah.
uh that's when we started deploying non-lethal. We started getting a little bit more aggressive, not to the extent that some of the other people took it to, but
Right.
as a whole, the United States did a very good job of containing themselves and remaining professional in what they were supposed to do. That's pretty good. I mean,
Exactly.
but
A
go
lot of
ahead.
stuff could have turned fast. I was actually surprised about that. At the the opportunity of something really bad to happen, and the composure of our guys,
Hmm.
like on how much level of disgruntled and hate they probably have for that situation. They could have snapped like that, but they didn't, and that could have caused a serious
Yeah.
fucking incident. But yes, that was the day push, um, which turned into them coming back and waving in and out,
Hmm.
squirters here and there coming in, hiding, praying everywhere because they picked up on praying was their safe space. They
Yeah,
push,
the
they drop
empathy.
down and pray, and it's like I
Yeah.
can't touch you at that point. So they had done that for a while, bebopped back and forth, and just trying to get a hold of the situation. Like, what can we actually do? And then we eventually picked up on non-lethals that worked
Yeah.
to a point, but you can't
Not when there's
kill
that many
that.
people. There's just too
Yeah,
many people to promote uh that much empathy. You can't. They'll It turns into suicidal empathy real quick because they'll immediately start taking that inch and trying to draw it out to a mile.
yeah.
But there's no I mean, it's a situation that sucks, but I mean, it is what we had to do. Um, if I'm remembering correctly, and I think I am, you guys got sent out to like deal with one of the trucks that same day. If I'm not, then it's just like the next day you guys had to deal with it. Because I remember you guys kept getting like uh you would go on a mission, come back, do your rest, but then would get slotted for another mission ahead of a different platoon. And I was
Yeah,
but
yeah.
sorry.
We had no, we had exactly perfect situation that you explained. You get tasked. Somebody else had a platoon slotted. Like, hey, these are the next guys to go out. Oh, first or third, blah blah blah. They're busy doing something else. Well, they're not on the running up runners up anymore.
Mhm.
Hey, second you're up. It's like, damn, like we had just put our stuff down, and we were on like we were all as a company on a QRF element, but within the QRF element, we were the QRF to the QRF. And it's like, really, dude? Like, hey, second, we're going out again. Like, damn. Okay.
That's why
Which
it's
was
such a hard
fun.
time explaining it to people because you're like, but no, we were like the ERF because there's no
Hmm.
QRF anymore. It's just everyone's getting responded to because there's
Yeah.
so many of us.
Yeah.
In comparison, there was much more of us. Dude, it didn't feel like it. It did not
Hmm.
feel like it at all.
No, for sure. And we had at least had a little break between like moving like getting to our shoes and our little rooms and stuff and dropping our shit, our bags and stuff like that. But at that point, it was like still remain on standby while you're doing all this admin stuff. So yeah, it just felt like we never stopped. Something would come up and it's like, really, dude, go do this. Come back. Like, all right, next. We're on rest cycle. Fourth's
How does
got it, or first's got it.
How did you sleep? Did you get to sleep on a bed? Because I know, personally speaking, I slept in an office chair in full kit most of the time, and like
Yeah.
that's not like a joke or anything. It was just it was easier to stay in kit and
Mhm.
sleep in the chair. Well, there was no bed for me. First off, there's five of us in one room.
Yeah. Our first room, we had, I think it was a fires officer, and she was still trying to, she just got shoved in with our
Right.
company, and then two others in the room,
Oh
which was
yes, I remember
weird.
this.
Like, that was, I think that was fast forward to the end of that whole debacle of the night push and raid and all that stuff, the hordes. So our first room before we got moved to our kind of like official permanent rooms, that was our first little bed down area. But yeah, you got a chair, you had the bed. Um, Obviously gave the bed to who needed it because we were always up and out. But yeah, it was I think I got eventually time to put our stuff down and figure out what we had and maybe like wash up or quick rinse off for a shower because they had showers in the rooms. But after that, like,
Did you get
yeah,
to shower?
eventually, yeah. I don't know what day it was, but it was like there were some PTs,
Oh, you bastard.
bring them in,
You
bring them
bastard.
in, and then it was shortly after that, like you get out soaking wet, and it's like, hey, we need to move, blah blah blah, something somewhere.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, three, four guys a room in our eventually permanent barracks. Yeah, two to a bed, one in a chair, one on the ground, whatever worked, right? If you weren't up doing your guard shift or some duty or
Yeah.
whatever have you.
Again, the metaphor of fit in where you get in.
Hmm.
That's what that whole
Yes.
thing was.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so let's talk because I'm trying to think, were you a part of the platoon that had to uh thermite a truck in place on that bridge? You want to run that story through? Or would you rather not?
No, it was cool. It was a cool experience that we got to do that. It was just a it was a situation. To go and get tasked with that, it's like, cool, this is badass. This is something we can actually make happen, and it's not within our little camp base area. Um, Not outside the wire, but out of the double gates,
Yeah.
um, convoy, out of the down a back road, kind of close to our barracks and our chews. Um, Not time, obviously, because mission came up and we needed to do it. Whether it was cover of darkness or just tasking at the time, and we were on that cycle. But we go in, take a convoy, take the truck that needed to be bipped, and go out some back road, kind of bordering between the T walls, um, under nods and under our shitty IR light on the Humvees and stuff. I don't think we use white light, maybe, but this was kind of where it was bordering the like the town and the city and stuff on the hill of
Hmm.
Kabul. So whoever had the high ground could see what was going on,
Yeah.
and they had coordinated some contact with whether it was the ANA or some force that was out there pulling guard on a bridge. So we eventually bring the truck to where it needed to be blown and set in place by the bridge. We It was the Levick, which was the truck being blown, commander behind him, or the commander was in the truck. Couldn't remember. We were a couple of trucks behind that. We get to this narrow ass bridge, which there was already a unidentified group of foreigners. Could have been A&A, could have been some sketch dudes that just had got the job to pull security, but they were pulling it right next to the bridge. And there's another truck on the other side sandwiching, watching that bridge. We got stuck in this little valley, and they said like they couldn't get through or something, so we had to back up. And it took about like maybe 20, 30 minutes of just figuring out how to do that. And we get stuck next to look outside my right window. My gunner's bitching. He's like, "What the hell is going on?" Because I have God knows who next to me with a Dishka. Yeah, we
Oh,
have a 50, but Dishka pointed right at us
yeah.
in case something wants to get squirrely. And all you could do is just kind of look at each other and just give them that like telepathic, like, "Hey, we're here to do something. Just don't fuck with us, and it
Yeah.
won't get squirrely."
And that's the Taliban you're referencing that we're doing that? Or
I don't
oh,
know.
you said you didn't know. My fault. I thought you said Taliban. My bad. Maybe I was fast
Yeah,
forwarding to when they took assumption of um the guard around us,
probably.
which is terrifying in and of itself.
Mm. Yeah, it was the back of a Hilux. I didn't see any white flag or anything that could tell me that it was Taliban, but um, you just kind of had the feeling like they didn't care and they had us dead in our rights. So best thing we could do is just fucking acknowledge they were there. They were there for some reason. I don't think we coordinated with them at all that we were coming to do that. So it's kind of get in, get out, and um, buddy next to me is bitching the whole time, freaking out, but like on a funny like, "Hey, I'm serious, but this is it." Like, I'm joking, but actually, what the fuck are we doing here? Because I'm trying to go back.
Yeah.
So that's where kind of we stayed stagnant too much to where it was like, all right, you know, trying to, getting close to feeling uncomfortable, and I feel like
Yeah.
these guys don't want us here.
Yeah. Because what
So
they just had the gun aimed right at you while you're doing all this maneuvering.
it was the posture of the truck. It
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
the gunner pointing at us,
Hmm.
but gunner was on the
It'd be a quick
on the
flip.
back of the truck, just right there.
Yeah.
And if need be, we needed to swing the turret. Like that'd be too much time taken for that to you know
Yeah.
to be in a fight. But
I don't think a 50
of
wins against the Dishka.
no, especially yeah, cranking that turret. And by the time we do that,
Well, at least
we're
not
turned and
within those
one.
parameters. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the guy on the other side, like, nah, we're sandwiched. Plus, they had a lot of bodies too. So that turned into us eventually backing up, setting the truck in place, and um, turning around successfully, making sure everybody was clear. That again, I don't think it was interpreted that we were doing that. So by the time we turned around and was heading back to base, we blew it, and then I could only imagine um, what they were thinking. Like these guys just came, set this truck up, and blew the shit out of it. Like
They were
what the hell's
probably
going on?
mad, dude. They're like,
Like
no, I wanted that.
right, yeah, they had their shitty Hilux that could have been using that. I think it was a
Oh, yeah.
Bearcat, but we were out of the area before they could set the charge and blow it and do whatever they had to do. And from there, kind of finding our way back, which we kind of got lost a little bit, which was again just driving around in some pile of rubble and backing up. We ran over a Spock. Spock was the driver. He ran over a fucking like a gate fence that just made everything fucking super obvious that we were there. Which, if
That's
you couldn't
crazy.
hear the trucks roaring as it is, but it's like,
That's a big ass engine, dog.
mm,
The Bearcat got like 9 miles to the gallon, and it was visible. You could watch it go down. It was
hmm.
But
So yeah, that was like okay, it was cool, but something could have gone wrong easily,
oh yeah. Well, I
right?
mean, you run that
But
risk when you're doing any kind of op like that, especially in an unknown where we haven't surveyed it beforehand or
mm,
sending out a recon beforehand. It's kind of just like, but there's only so much you
yeah,
can do within the confines of the situation that you're in. Like, from what I saw when we did kick out recon elements, those elements were just tracked the whole time. So it would essentially just be like shooting fish in a barrel if we were to send anybody after.
mm,
I mean, it would just have to be a whole lot of crap. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like sleight of hand. That's what I was thinking of. It would be a whole lot of sleight of hand that you would have to do. But
right,
I don't know. Because every time I think about it, well, first off, every time I think about Kabul, I have to think about my glasses first because that night where everything turned to bloodshed was when a Marine bounced a flashbang off of Welsh's head.
really,
And yeah, Welsh took off running, dude. And I looked down at my feet, but I was looking under nods because I was on the tarmac looking for Welsh.
hmm.
It was like during the chaos, and we were trying to get it up. I was trying to find Welsh because he had like dipped left trying to help out. So I went further down to go physically get hands on him, and I found him coming back. Marine tossed out a banger. It knocked off of Welsh's helmet. Welsh takes off running, doesn't even think about it. He just takes off running.
Right,
And I looked down at my feet and realized what I'm looking at. And as soon as I like tried to close my eyes, it went off. And so I just
jeez,
my right eye is just anything
booked,
that's not like right here. It's it's hard,
mm,
but I can
jeez.
see okay with my left. That's why I kept thinking about that. Um,
That's where stuff happens in between. It's just like chaotic. Like
yeah,
this happened, boom. All right, next thing. And let me try to focus on the task at hand.
yeah.
And it's like nothing far from surprising.
Let's build up to that night where like the ANASF showed up and then the Taliban showed up and we were told to no matter what, don't shoot unless you're being shot
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
Even then you weren't allowed to. Let's be real.
Hmm.
But let's see. Cause I was on what was I doing that day? I want to say it was just like a patrol. Like during the day we were just like mobbing around in the VIX, keeping them back, trying to respond to random shit.
Hmm.
And so, what were you guys doing? Were y'all over on the tarmac?
I want to say we're kind of bouncing around the tarmac pretty much, just throughout the whole day into the night, which had eventually just um, trying to corral everybody back turned into, you know, all right, they're kind of backing off, they're going back now, and then they'll come back, boom, different waves at different angles
Yeah.
at night. So we were there kind of the whole time, and it got roped into it. So I don't think we really ever left the airfield. So,
So, so I'm asking because I'm trying to create a visual in my head. Um,
mhm.
were you closer to the terminal where like they had the Constantine wire, or were you closer to like the two tarmacs where the sea of people was just happening?
I want to say we were in between it.
Oh shit.
Um, we eventually had gone, so there were pockets of open space, obviously, throughout the night. We would
Yeah.
drive around, try to not get sucked in the void. And we had ended up being after was this the same day? Uh, the Apaches flew over and um, you know,
No,
they're
that was the
clinging to
first
the
day.
C-17.
Yeah, the
Okay,
first day was where all that craziness happened, where like the low buzzes, the people falling
right,
out of the planes,
right,
then
right.
having to clean up.
Yeah, we were on the right. We were towards the our staging side, like our fob
Oh shit,
area
okay.
for that going on, like directly right next to the plane when it's taking off
So y'all were on the
on that day.
y'all were to where they were running to when the guys
Right.
started chopping them up. Wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
they were flush swarming us, and we were trying to push them back. So not towards the civilian terminal. We were
Okay. All right, yeah,
towards
I
where
can
they were trying to come. Um, so if that's what you're referencing,
yeah, I
sea
was
wire and stuff on the civilian side.
yeah, because I think at one point they just said fuck the sea wire and just started running through it.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yeah,
damn. So
you're desperate.
where were they trying to go down there? Because, and like from my perspective, they were just running down the tarmac towards like the south gate, and there wasn't anything down there except for a fence that they were just going to get caught up against.
Yep. I don't think they knew. They just
I mean, that's
followed the crowd and swarmed towards what they could, what they thought was the military side was like, hey, if I make it towards here, I'm getting vetted and I can get checked in.
yeah,
But in reality, it wasn't anywhere near us. It was maybe another mi half mile to the
yeah,
left was where you actually were getting documented and stuff like that. But they were just trying to get in
yeah,
over to
because
our side.
we would get called out to the gates. And I think you guys had to do this too with the fires LT, and she would have to do the inspection on the women if they requested it because you obviously didn't have to if you didn't want to. Um,
Right, right.
and oftentimes it would be us having to wait for state to come and facilitate this inspection because they wanted to have eyes on and they wanted to do their inspection and all that. And we'd wait for hours sometimes. Sometimes. Most of the time it was just like 30 to like an hour, which is reasonable within the confines of the situation that we were given. But it still calls into question like how many people we should have brought more people to
Mhm.
facilitate that. But I also don't think
Yeah,
that uh well, here I'll say this. From my understanding, the handoff that happened was a series of poor choices in the administration and um yeah, it was just uh miscommunication and lack of understanding that led to mistakes that need to be corrected if this event happens in the future.
sure.
And I mean, uh, that was like my whole point of it was we always do AARs for everything, but we're not doing any type of AAR or any type of fact finding other than who was making the bombs, who did the bombs, and stuff like that. Because, I mean, if you want just a simple answer of who made the bomb, who did this, they've already got that.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's more of the muddy details that I'm referencing. And like, Um, because I know that we were doing the best that we had with what was available, and I'm not faulting anybody for that. It's just there is a level of accountability that has to be held, and we're not holding ourselves to that. So we're having to deal with adverse consequences within
Hmm.
the lower enlisted and the uh, perception of the country and how it views the military. Because we can't say something and hold someone to a standard and then do the antithesis.
I think we're beyond the point of backtracking who's accountable,
Yeah, and
and it's kind of just like, you
I'm
know,
not saying pull them in the court and do that. No, no.
right.
We need to correct the system of failing upward. That needs to not be a thing. Obviously, we can't hold them accountable within the confines of the court because of multiple factors. And
Hmm.
um, I think that life has a way of sorting out um, issues that don't get resolved by humans. So, I
True.
mean, it'll work itself out. I believe that. I genuinely do. I don't usually have a negative take on most things, unless it's like the Epstein files. I'm just kidding.
Doesn't exist
um, it doesn't, dude. Didn't say
it
it is. Uh,
anymore, right?
yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. But let's shift over to more
Right.
happier
Right.
tunes because I know that everything after that, there wasn't really anything more than just like mistakes that happen in the moment. And, I don't think we need to be a dead horse on how much trauma and how much death actually happened that wasn't, um,
Right.
what just
Yeah, it
wasn't
was.
brought forward by the media. But,
Yeah,
all right.
you can't report on it.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And we could see it in real time too. We were watching, we had those TVs that had like a couple of channels on them. And so you could see Al Jazeera, CNN, Fox,
Hmm.
basically every media outlet you could see, at least if they were big.
Yeah.
And it was so weird being able to compare and contrast in real time what was actually
And
going on and what was
like
being.
I'm watching the TV in the room and it's happening. I can hear everything happening behind us.
Yeah.
And it's like that's
Or
not
the
what's
lack
happening.
of reporting. That would be
Exactly.
a more precise way of saying it. The lack of reporting was more
Right.
alarming than the reporting because
They
uh,
just wanted to see planes taken off.
yeah, it was more of
We're
trying to
evacuating.
uplift. It was uplifting. Like, how about we just do objective reporting? Like, this is what's happening. We'll sort it out after.
Hmm. Yeah, here's the facts, right?
Yeah, but I, that doesn't appeal to the masses, and that doesn't generate views unless something's happening, and that's what
For
they
sure.
want. They want views. So, all right, we're gonna pivot because I don't like to just stay down in
Do
the
it.
dumps the whole time. All right,
Hmm.
so you said that you're now doing the oh my God, it's a broadening assignment, but I can't. You said you're
So yeah,
doing
let's
the
quiz it.
teaching on the heavy weapons.
Yeah, so I'm a heavy weapons instructor here at Fort Benning,
Oh yeah.
and pretty much for guys that went through 11 Bravo or 11 X-ray basic training in OSIT, they come through about, see, it's 22-week cycle now,
Hmm.
so they come through around week 16, 17. They we teach POI for 50 cal, and then we teach POI for Mark 19, and then
That's very
our
cool.
other half of the group runs shoulder launched munitions. Um, so sometimes we help out with them, but
Hmm.
they have their own allotted numbers. Um, but you shoot the AT4, BDM, and the Carl Gustav. So,
Is it just the
but
introduction to the weapon system and familiarization, or is it like actually going into depth with them?
mhm. So it's meat and potatoes. We teach a classic character distance capabilities on whiteboards.
Okay.
shift them to the down on the line by the range. They get their hands on um, for pretty much dry, just getting the function of the weapon, and then we move to live fire, which they get. It's just a fan fire, so they get their play with the trigger, and then
Yeah.
they get up and go away. And then
Yeah.
they clean the weapons, and they wrap up, and they're done. But
Dang.
nothing extensive. Learn, learn how to charge it, learn the basics of it,
Dude, that
and
sounds
then
like an awesome gig though.
it is, yeah. The summer's picked up a little bit, but the work to life balance is uh it's good here.
Yeah.
And
Is it much more
yeah, you can.
manageable than the 8 second?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Really
because
predictable. Early days.
what? Stop lying.
You heard it here. Yeah, predict.
You
What's is that a word?
predictability. Yeah,
Predictability.
predictability.
It's high here. You know what you're doing
It's
two, three
almost
months
like they
out.
have a good form of communication going.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
It's it's almost like they learned what shit was important. Well, who said that?
Gonna be me.
What?
Ventriloquist.
Dude, I will say that you do whoa, you look significantly healthier, looking like you're not as stressed
Appreciate
out,
it.
like you actually get to breathe. Yeah, dude, no,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I
killing it.
get to go home and do home stuff at a reasonable time. Today I
Yeah.
was off by 10. Yeah, 10:30.
Well, that's pretty sweet because you did a good number of years over in the 82nd. Because if I'm remembering correctly, you did at least six to my knowledge. Yeah,
Yeah, I showed up in 2016.
yeah,
I believe you're already there. And we kind of had the same timeline.
yeah.
Um, we did Kosovo together, we did Iraq together, we did DC together, and we did Afghanistan. And then shortly after that, before Kabul happened, I had orders here in November of 2021. Um,
Dude,
and then
I
from there,
have
I was kind of like, hey, I've had my
I,
fair share, but let's get out of here and find something different.
yeah, I haven't sat down with anyone from the Kosovo deployment. I think right now I'm just playing off of the lack of reporting and lack of just any kind of talk about Afghanistan because it seems like it's just a black hole of information. And
Yeah, everybody
I'm,
had the same but different accounts.
yeah, dude, and it's
So
crazy. That's why I was like, fuck it. Let's cut through the
yeah,
bullshit and let's get some real answers. Because if you put a camera in somebody's face, they're gonna do one of two things. They can either tell the truth or they're gonna lie their ass off. And the internet will correct them if they do the second. So I was like,
yeah,
fuck it, let's ball.
hmm
But
yeah.
comparatively, how did you feel about Afghanistan versus the Kosovo deployment? Because I thought that while the Afghanistan deployment was significantly shorter,
hmm
uh, it was more taxing on like my mental and emotional state uh,
Yeah,
than
you
the
just get thrown
Kosovo.
into it. And Kosovo, I want to say it was when they're doing. We were told months before,
Yeah,
hey, we're deploying. Bad news, we didn't go to Afghanistan. The rest of the battalion did,
yeah, that was
but
bad.
hey, the BC was like, hey, I got a different mission set for you guys. As a Delta company, you're gonna go and do these operations. Everybody else is gonna go to Afghanistan and do mounted stuff that you were used to. But everything happens for a reason. So we
Yeah.
go there. It's expected to deploy for 9 months. You do JMRC before, really structural, right? Like the riot training and stuff like that.
We don't, you don't have to do a breakdown over all of it. I was just asking like what
Yeah.
you thought. Was it better, worse, or maybe even
I
surprising in some aspects?
yeah. It was a cool mission set. but trying to like flex the knowledge of infantry stuff as to what we were doing
Oh yeah.
in Kosovo was hard to get used to, but it was you picked up on it like, all right, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Um, you have like a structured day, PT plan, all that stuff, mission set, go home and refit back to the barracks and stuff. As to Afghanistan, it was just like, here's
Respond.
our here it is, unfuck
Yeah.
it. Like we don't know what we're doing, we're just trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
But it was um
Desperate.
Kosovo was coordinated, Afghanistan was organized chaos.
Yeah. And Kosovo
Um,
just kind of whittled away at you. It
yeah.
was like the slow monotony of doing the same
Hmm.
shit.
Yeah.
That
Catching
drove
wood,
me insane, dude.
what is it? Catching woodcutters,
Catching
illegal Serbian
woodcutters,
woodcutters.
well, and then trying to help Orsini figure out the the corruption ring, and then
Hmm.
finding out that there was like a whole slew of things that were going on, but we weren't allowed to do anything.
Hmm. Yeah,
That
that's
one
past the border.
blew me, dude.
I
But
think
it
one of
blew
the
my mind.
exciting.
It blew my mind because they set us up on that op to get eyes on and see what was happening and see if we could actually find a truck. And then we find a truck and do our
Mhm.
job and then not allowed to interact. So then we didn't even get eyes on to know if it was actually moving people or just items. It
Yeah,
was
you,
weird. It was so
you
weird.
never got word back.
Well, we were told to
The
stop.
police there are
They're like,
sketch.
it's too hard. Or no, they were like, it's too much risk.
Right. Yeah, we had the police force, what is it, KB,
Hmm.
KP something?
Um,
The police force is pretty sketch, so they're doing some cross-border stuff.
Dude, they were
And
posting
it's
up outside of the base. They
like,
had a watcher for when we would come out of the base.
yeah.
That was so
Yeah, they knew.
stupid. Of course they did. Dude. Um, I was talking with Orsini in the moment, and he's like, "Dude, this thing is just from the gills. It's
Hmm.
everything from the gills." And I was like, "Oh man, so what's the like? How do you fix it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't think you can."
Yeah. We'll do our part, hand it over to who is replacing us,
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah, it sucks for the people because they're just stuck in that.
yeah.
And it's a terrible situation. Like, not saying that like their life is awful. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like they get flexed on and
Hmm.
enforced or coerced. It's
Yeah,
rough.
that's a, I didn't even know it existed,
The
but we
mafia.
got told we were going there to Kosovo. I was like, I don't know. It's Eastern
Dude,
Europe.
people were
I
having
don't know what
to,
the hell is going on there, but
yeah, they were having to research it to even know where we were going because they didn't know that Serbia had like a whole genocide and a whole revolution.
hmm.
It was wild because there was a couple people. Ellis was one of them I'm thinking of, who had been there before in the
Yeah,
90s or the early 2000s.
yeah. I think early 2000.
Yeah, and
I
I was
think
like,
2001.
I asked him if it had changed any from before, and he's like, not really. Looks
Yeah,
shittier.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
well,
Corruption, and you get towards
the
closer to
drugs.
Pristina, and it gets nicer, obviously. But
Yeah. Pristina with I still have the picture of the statue of Bill Clinton. I'll probably, you know what? I think I can stitch that in. I'll stitch
they're
in the,
worshiping that. Like they
yeah,
love Bill Clinton here.
yeah,
Bill
that
Clinton.
big ass bronze statue.
Hmm.
So stupid.
Like really,
I d- it was
out of
beautiful.
everybody.
It was a beautiful country though. Like I love the mountains. It looked beautiful. And then
Hmm.
they were like tell us how much a house costs and I was like you can't be serious, right?
Right.
But then you find out like about their economy and how everything works and then how the mafia is still present over there. And that was the funniest shit to me was seeing the mafia for the first time because I was like,
Yeah,
are they? Is this real?
yeah.
Because
As then,
we went on a patrol with I think it was Sergeant Reed at the time, and I was asking him because he's just a wealth of knowledge. So I just was like
yeah.
constantly trying to ask him questions, and he'd tell me to shut up if I was annoying.
Mm,
But there was two guys in black leather jackets standing at a gate to like a mine. And I was literally like, this isn't real, right? Where's Ashton Kutcher? Like, come on
right.
now. We're not
I'm
actually
being punked.
saying that this is, they're like, no, this is the actual mafia. Like, they will kill you. And I was like, shut the fuck up. And then they come over and
Right.
talk to us. And I was like, okay, never mind.
Hmm.
These, these are actual mafia.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get out of here.
I was like,
I'm just a visitor.
this, dude, that was hilarious though. Cause it started like chipping away at the naivete that I had, and so then like finding out more and more about the world. I mean, it's just like a lot of people join the military for adventure and stuff, and I just kind of joined because I wanted to be in war and I wanted to see war, and I I got some of it,
Mm,
but it was definitely like there was a lot more aspects to the world than I was aware of. And
right. Yeah,
there's
it
a
had,
lot more avenues for evil than I thought. It was weird.
yeah. Yeah. I had joined expecting like myself to be on those those Funker 530 videos,
Hmm.
like GoPros of
Yeah.
Afghanistan and Iraq and all that stuff. I was like, that's gonna be me one day. And then happens, we get the chance. I'm like, this is a little different, but
Yeah.
I guess that's how the world works around there.
Yeah, it
Um,
was
anything can happen.
because we only had one thing we had to respond to, and well, I think it was two, but I know one for sure. That bomb situation on the bus. That was when I found out, or when we saw Sergeant Reed in his sniper position for the first time.
Yeah.
And he just like takes up position, and you can just like feel the difference in him. He changes his whole demeanor.
Hmm.
I was like, damn, he just went into the flow
Yeah,
state.
shit's real. Yeah,
Because
that.
it's
And
like
then,
it's weird, dude. When people are doing their thing that they've trained to do for hours and hours, and they get into the flow of it, dude, it just like changes their whole.
mhm.
I don't know,
Yeah,
changes their whole
yeah,
thing.
you can just tell. There was that, and then the I think it was an Albanian politician got assassinated,
Oh
and they
yeah.
gave us a mission set to go patrol and look for guys with silenced pistols. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
Shit's over with.
we we had the assassination and then the election. We were doing
Yeah, we were
the
gearing up for that
dude.
in case
I
the
was
world fucking
so not
crumbled.
ready to see homie being strung up without a head. I was like, fuck me, dude.
Mm,
And then well
out of a
that ended up triggering like a couple of people when that happened. So I was like, oh man.
yeah, and that was kind of just out of the blue.
Yeah, it was
Like, hey,
really
you're gonna train up for this, and then this is gonna happen. This happens. Like, well,
they were like, we're doing
fuck,
riot
I guess.
training, we're doing Molotovs, pepper spray, all that stuff.
Yeah,
And then the first thing we respond to is bomb threats and assassination attempts. And we're like, I think we trained for the wrong mission set.
yeah. I didn't know this place was like this.
Hey man, they were about it. And their food was good too.
It
Especially
was
the
good.
bread. Bread was amazing, dude.
Yep.
What is your plans though? Are you planning to do 20 and then see where it takes you, or are you getting out? What are you doing, buddy?
Yeah. So at one point, I tried getting out.
Hmm.
I tried going federal. I wanted to go become an air marshal. Failed the
Okay.
test. There's a wait period if you fail. And it's you gotta wait a year before you can retest, and I didn't have that time to
To wait.
wait around. So re-enlisted, and then I got DA select for drill.
Hmm.
So I'll be going to drill school in
Hell
February.
yeah.
Initially, I was trying to reclass too, so they dropped that on me. I was trying to go. I am still trying to go intelligence. So I had everything good. I just needed to pick a class date.
Yeah.
Everything's figured out, but didn't pull the trigger fast enough. The big army was like, "Hey, you're gonna do this," so maybe I can rehash it later down the
Maybe.
line. Do 20
Yeah.
if I can find myself in a different unit and uh,
Yeah.
duty station and stuff like that. So
Um,
we'll see.
you're good. Dude, well, I think it's awesome that you still want to go after it. I would try and redo it, especially if it's something that you're passionate about, like trying to be a fire marshal or do something federal. I I tried to do some federal stuff, but in the end I just came back to, well, first I never heard back. I would have answered that email. First off, that
Yeah.
messed up, federal government. Uh,
Well,
no,
I
I get it.
applied to a
It's much
slew of
better if
different
you,
things
yeah,
like
no,
HSI, this, that, and you got to take a
nobody gets you
test.
down.
Got to do this. Got to do that. It's like,
Hell yeah.
well,
I
I'll
just try
probably do.
shit. I don't even
Yeah.
like I try to avoid thinking like too heavily other than what's needed to prepare. Like I do like a min max kind of where it's like what's the
Hmm.
minimum amount that I have to do in order to be successful in this endeavor. And then I just go after it and let the mistakes and learning curve happen in the moment and just keep going with it.
Right.
And as long as it's not like too crazy, because I keep a good boundary. But I think doing this is awesome to keep going. Like, yeah, all right, so we didn't get CA, we're going next. You fucking or
Hmm.
didn't go federal. Now we're going CA. Didn't get CA. What's next? We got intelligence. We got this. We got that. That's what I was doing. I bounced around. I tried everything. It's fun. I still do it. I still think it's fun. I don't. I think that for a little bit I was stuck in this way of thinking that failure is bad because of the punishment behind the failure due to just being in the military situation. And
Yeah.
so, like,
Yeah.
slowly working out of that conditioning and, like, all right, I can make mistakes and it not end up in a tribunal, you know?
Right.
And I
Sometimes it's
think it's
good to
fun.
fail.
Yeah. And within reason. You always
Hmm.
have to add within reason because there's some
Right.
people that don't have reason. That's
Yeah.
not us.
They
Within
just
reason.
flop.
Yeah, it did. Well, we're in such like a crazy time where like we're trying to regulate rational things to make sure that corporate greed doesn't overstep boundaries. And then also in that time we have phenomenal innovations like AI and robotics
Oh
and all that
yeah,
stuff, which is terrifying if you want to go that route. It can be terrifying. It can
for sure.
also be an amazing invention that leads to abundance if we allow abundance to happen instead of uh, greed.
Yeah.
But
In
it's
moderation.
yeah, dude, because everything like if you think of everything as more of like a drug and um you have to consciously choose, all right, I need to take breaks. I need to exercise discipline. I need to do this. I need to do
Hmm.
that. And a lot of shit can get done. A lot of shit can get done if you just do that. But it's
Speaking of breaks, I'm gonna take a piss and then we'll get
you're
back
good,
at
man.
it.
You're good. Well, we can end it right here because I know I'm taking up a huge chunk of your time.
No, you're
But
good.
dude, I genuinely appreciate it. I love hearing stories from other people's perspective and then being able to interject and see and pull and push. I think it's
Yeah, man.
awesome. And I also think that it is awesome that you continue to do it. I know it might not necessarily be what you want right now, but you're working towards the life that you do want. And I think that's
Yes,
an
sir.
awesome goal. Dude, Sal,
Yeah,
I
man.
love you, man. I appreciate you for doing this.
Love you too,
You,
brother.
yeah,